Is your English writing like this or like this? The text on the right has poor cohesion, but the text on the left has excellent cohesion. And if you use this cohesion, your English writing is amazing. So how do we get from bad cohesion to good cohesion? I'm going to take you through step by step how to do this. First, you'll notice with this text on the right that they repeat the same words and phrases over and over again, and this is not good in writing. What we need here instead are referring devices. Words that show that one part of the text is linked to something that came before. So instead of saying Europe and the USA agreed a trade deal, we could simply say this deal. And the word this links back to what came before. Europe and the USA agreed a trade deal. We could also say the deal. Words that are useful here are this, the, these, that, those, and it can all refer back to the text before. And they create links in the text that make your writing more readable and more logical. It creates a flow. But we still have a problem here. We have the word deal repeated several times. We can overcome this by using summary nouns. These are group words that a trade deal might be included in, such as this proposal. A trade deal is a type of proposal. Or the agreement. A trade deal is normally a type of agreement. We can make the links even more explicit through linking words, sometimes called conjunctions. Notice in this text that there is a change in tone between the green words and the red words. In the green words, we simply have neutral statements. Europe and the USA agreed a trade deal this week. This proposal includes a 15% tariff on goods from Europe. There's no hint of whether this is a positive thing or a negative thing yet. But in the next sentence, we have a hindrance, a negative. The agreement was described as unbalanced by some leaders. So to create better cohesion, we can introduce a word that demonstrates that change. However, this is a word that introduces a contrast. It warns the reader that something is changing in the meaning of the text. Here from a neutral statement now to a negative statement. As well as however, these contrast linking words could include in contrast, nevertheless, or in spite of this. These are the changes we've made so far. But did you notice the word some here? What about the other people? We could also create more cohesion by using paired cohesive devices. So as well as using some leaders, we also introduce the others. The agreement was described as unbalanced by some leaders. Others noted that the deal requires more negotiation. So here we have this link. We start off with the some, and then by introducing others, we create a link between the two sentences in a logical manner. I'm filling in the gap that I didn't mention before. Words that can do this are some or others, the first or the last, and the former and the latter, where you refer to two nouns. When you say the former, you refer to the first of the two nouns, and when you say the latter, you refer to the second of the two nouns. Now let's make our linking even more complex through substitution reference. Look at the word the in the deal. This refers to Europe and the USA agreed a trade deal. But we can make this more complex by using such. Such deals means these types of deals. And this is a substitution referent. Such describes everything that came before the word deal in the first sentence, the word that deal is linked to. And one of the simplest ways to create cohesion is through synonyms. We still have some repetition in this text with Europe and the USA. Well, you'll notice lower down we repeat Europe on line 4. But there's other ways to describe Europe as a political entity. We could also say the EU. We know it's linked to Europe, but it's a different way of expressing it, and it creates better cohesion because although we know it means the same thing, it shows progression in the text. We could also add something extra here at the bottom, where we replace Europe with European and USA with American. So how did we get from a text with no cohesion at all to a text with excellent cohesion, which is also excellent English writing? Well, first we introduced referring devices, then summary nouns, linking words like these, paired cohesives, substitutions like such, and synonyms. But we actually did one more thing that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is we actually kept some of the key terms the same. We repeated the word deal. Now, why did we do this? Well, with the most important word, sometimes you want to repeat it, because the more times that a word appears in a text, the more importance you're putting on it. You're reminding the reader this is the main point of the text. So, although we change lots and lots of words, don't do it with everything. If there's one word that you want to stand out through the text, sometimes just repeat that word. I've got much more to teach you on my course, Improve Your English Writing. On this course, I show you how to write in sentences, paragraphs, longer texts, essays, social media, and more. You can find out about this course by clicking the link in the description below me now.